Here are a few thoughts that I have about the state of our legal system and some proposed legal reforms. Just as Martin Luther called for the church to translate the Bible into the common tongue during the Protestant Reformation, I say that the law ought to be written in plain, simple language that the people can understand. As it is now, many situations arise from people not understanding or misinterpreting the law. This includes both officers and civilians. Then lawyers and judges are left to interpret, and even they often disagree. The law should be easily understood by those whose lives are so heavily dependent upon it. It is not fair to imprison a person for violating a law that is essentially not written in their native tongue.
No one here speaks Old English anymore.
Compose the law in the vernacular. Anything to the contrary is an abuse of power. The law regarding property should state, don't take what is not yours, and do not use what you have to harm others. People cannot be property. If your property is living, such as animals, either keep them in good health and appearance or lose them. If they are let to stray off your property, someone else may handle it for you. If you destroy someone else's property, you owe them its current market value based on its condition. The end. That is the entirety of property law.
On the topic of the carry of firearms, it should not be incumbent upon the citizen
to ensure the officer's safety by being unarmed. An officer should assume that everyone they meet is potentially armed,
and also most likely peaceful,
thus maintaining both vigilance and civility during their interactions with citizens. The U.S. Constitution is all anyone should need to be able to go armed, unless their history has proven them a danger to the public. Possession of any item, other than maybe a nuclear weapon or the property of another, should never be made illegal. It is how that item is used or not used that should dictate its criminality. Regarding wildlife laws and hunting, one single hunting and fishing license purchased annually should provide for taking any desired game. Species should be protected based upon their population health and volume. As any species exist in abundance, the wildlife laws should allow for each person to hunt or fish for a given number of these creatures each year. They should be killed humanely in a way that does not harm the environment nor endanger anyone. Aside from that, there should be no further restrictions, limitations, etc. on hunting or fishing. Why is hunting over bait illegal, but baiting a trap is legal? This is inconsistent and foolish. If the preferred end result is the animal's humane death, then kill it with whatever quick, effective means you like. Gun, spear, knife, bow, club, overbait, underbait, whatever. Who cares? The end result is the same. Let's not be foolish about the particulars. As for offenses against person, I say do to the offender what they did to the victim. I'm also in favor of Japan's more stringent laws regarding the impact of saying things against a person publicly that would destroy their reputation, whether what you state is true or a lie. There is no need to publicly shame a person. Respectful debate is fine.
criticism is fine.
Otherwise, take it up with them in private or in court or on the streets and face the consequences, but not by attacking their character like a coward.
Adjusting our laws about libel and slander in this way would settle a lot of conflict before it ever begins.
I'm also not opposed to mutual combat as a means of settling conflict if both parties agree to go this route. It worked for thousands of years.
And I'm not saying have a pistol shootout if somebody calls your grandmama a name, but there are times where a good boxing match would be more favorable for either party than going to court. Perhaps these ideas are overly simplistic, but I believe if our lawmakers would give serious consideration to simplifications such as these, our society would benefit from a lower prison population, less conflict among the citizenry, and closer proximity to the freedoms that our forefathers set out to preserve for us when they drafted the Constitution.